Greetings, my fellow gamers, and welcome Team Black Rose. Yep. So, I wanted to talk about something kind of interesting, and that is Sword and Shield. Yes, I have plans for this video. So, first off, I want to talk about, the fierce scrub is wearing Mr. Deku himself. So I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about that. So, well, not that. I got this was a gift. Thank you. Thank you. By the way, thank you for the shirt. Why are all of my videos so cringy? But to dedicate this as a video preparing for Sword and Shield, I want to talk about my least favorite things with. Yeah. I'm going to be comprising a video of every Pokemon I've used on my team, my main team, since Gen 1. This is going to be a pain, but I'm going to enjoy it. So I'm going to create a team, like my main team and like the team I like, because my team has never changed through the games. Like, it's always like when I play through the game, I go after these Pokemon. And my finalized team is always something that I use on Wi-Fi battles. And my Wi-Fi battle team never changes, even after I reset the game. Like, my battle team for online never changes. So I wanted to. But let's talk about the things that I think Game Freak was really questionable about putting in Pokemon. So starting off this list, I'm going to say Fairy type. Don't get me wrong, I really, really like Fairy type Pokemon, but seeing how like the typings were all kind of the same up until Gen 6, adding a new type was a mistake. I feel like if they were going to expand upon the types, they should have added a type per generation instead of 6th generation fairy. Don't get me wrong, fairy type is still cool. Or giving it that late was a problem. Mainly because of one of these fairy Pokemon. And you guys probably already guessed Sylveon. I cannot condone people who use Sylveon, for the love of God. Okay. Why? Oh. So keep in mind, I don't mind having a fairy evolution of Eevee, but why fairy? Why the new thing that came out gets the evolution? Where's my dragon Eevee? Where's my ghost type Eevee? Damn it, where's my steel type Eevee? Anyways, I think it's time for another thing that I feel like I want to bring up real quick before we move on to number 2 on the list is if we do get another evolution, I would like to see a steel type Eevee. That would be pretty cool. But let's move on. Cloning. Oh my. Okay. So this was not as much Game Freak's fault as people like me who look for these exploits fault. Cloning Pokemon. Now, Game Freak did address this. I'm pretty sure you can't Pokebank cloned Pokemon, but you can trade cloned Pokemon. That's a problem. Now, cloning doesn't exist as much now, but in Gen 1 and Gen 2, especially Gen 2, seeing how Crystal was released and you can clone Celebi, and then trade a shit ton of Celebes to people, that might be a problem, especially seeing as Gen 1 and 2 were broken. Moving on, breeding. Not the introduction of breeding, but not putting breeding in Gen 1. For a game that was supposed to be about collecting all of the Pokemon, where's my breeding system? Like, I get having exclusive Pokemon per game, but where is my breeding? Because there are Pokemon that I need multiple of to get multiple evolution, because they have multiple evolutions. I think the biggest one back then was Eevee, because Eevee had 3 evolutions and you could not breed your Eevee at all. There was no breeding, and that was a problem. We needed breeding to get at least Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon, because you were given one Eevee, and you couldn't access Eevee. If I remember correctly, you could access one Eevee in the entire game, and this Eevee was a gift Pokemon, meaning you could not catch this Eevee. It was given to you, which means you could not get a second Eevee without having to replay through the game. And even then, you would still have to have a second game to trade it to. What were you thinking? Game Freak, what were you thinking? Like, I mean, resetting a bunch of times to get the stuff you missed, you can't get in, like, is fine, but just what it took. The fact that it took till Gen 2 to realize that breeding was a necessary thing in Pokemon, and I'm pretty sure in Gen 1, Brock talked about becoming a Pokemon breeder, so the fact that the first games didn't have it is actually kind of sad. So moving from there, I'm going to talk about, and it's kind of goes in hand with the Gen 1 not breeding thing. Exclusives per game and splitting the Pokédex up among multiple games. Okay, so Gen 1, that's not that bad. Gen 2 is really, really bad. Okay, so first off, Gen 1 has 3 games, and there are exclusive Pokemon in Gen 1. Yes, I do know now it is, you can get the virtual consoles for $10, which $10 for 3 games is pretty reasonable, actually, and Pokebank makes it easier to trade things over, so you can actually get like a living Pokédex on all 3 games because you just have that flexibility. So yeah, I will say that the virtual consoles did make things easier. Gen 2, same thing. We got the virtual consoles, so even dropping $60 for 6 games, that's amazing, actually. Like, nowadays, where you can either pay $60 for 1 game or $60 for 6 games, I think I'm gonna take the 6 games, honestly. But these games were $40 when they came out. And you had to buy a connecting cable to transfer these Pokemon. which, if I'm not mistaken, was about the price of a game at the point. It's just great. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. Having to buy $3, $6, $40 games to complete Gen 1 and 2's Pokédex, really expensive. Because you already had the Game Boy that was relatively expensive. But what if you wanted to complete the National Dex in Gen 3? Good luck. Okay, so let's look at all the things you need to complete the Pokédex. First off, you have to have 3. Yeah. 3 copies of the Generation 3 games. That includes Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. You also have to have Fire Red and Leaf Green. But Joey, that's less games. Just wait. Okay, so you have to have a Game Boy. You have to have a second Game Boy to get those Pokemon from those. But here's where things got flipped on their head. Gen 2 is not available on these games. So you literally had to buy a GameCube. A GameCube to get this Pokemon. These Pokemon, like, if you wanted Gen 2, you had to buy a GameCube. Okay, first off, you bought a Game Boy. You dropped $40 on 5 different games. 40 a piece, I should say. And now I'm telling you, you have to have a GameCube. Which, when that came out, I'm pretty sure was about $300. And that's just for the console. How many games did you need for this console? 3. Yeah. Okay. So you need Pokemon Box for Jirachi. You need Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. 3 $60 games. I'm pretty sure you can cheese the Jirachi from something else, but if you actually wanted to have the living Dex on your game, you had to have Pokemon Box. Because it was the only way you were able to store all of these Pokemon and keep track of your progress at that time. Because Pokemon Bank was not a thing. You can see why I'm laughing at this. Okay, now I'm going to move away from talking about this. Gen 3 was horrid trying to collect all of the Pokemon. It was nice, though, that Gen 4 and up has kind of resolved that issue with trading via Wi-Fi and stuff like that, and GTS and stuff like that. So you can get the stuff you need. It's not hard to do. It just it's waiting for it. Moving forward, the next problem, and another thing that probably a lot of people, I've seen this in so many videos, and me saying this is no different. The special physical attack and defense split. Namely, not having it in Gen 1, 2, or 3. Yeah. Hate your life, guys. Hate your life because it's BS. Everyone hates it. Everyone hates facing special attackers in Gen 1 and 2. Gen 3, one of the strongest special attackers, was a physical type. Dark type was considered a special Pokemon, special type. And there was no viable special attacking dark types in Gen 3. Yeah. The physical special split will always be a mistake. They should have split it sooner. Now from there, getting totem Pokemon. Is this really that bad? Yes. Yes, it is. Because all you gotta do is pick up stickers. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Collecting stickers is not something that you would think you would want to do. Until you realize that you can get a Komodo for 100 stickers. This is where someone like me comes in. And I try and scour for every sticker in the game because I want this Komodo. I want this giant Komodo just as a collector's piece, not even as a Pokemon I'm going to use, just as a collector's piece. Because I could not access Totem Pokemon in Gen 7. They gave it to us in Ultra Sun and Moon. And I commend them for that. And next up, Shinies. Okay. I'm not going to talk about that. Okay, let me explain my stance on Shinies. Shinies are cool, but Game Freak fucked up really, really bad. Don't get me wrong, shiny hunting is extremely fun, but I'm not talking about shinies in the current generation where they're easy to get. I'm talking about shinies in the older generations where they were extremely hard to get. They were harder to find than freaking Arceus. Okay, so just keep in mind, like, shiny hunting in the old days were bragging rights. Shiny hunting in the current generation, anyone can do it in their sleep. And I think that's going to wrap up this one. I'm going to do another rant about things that Game Freak fucked up. So if you want to see that, please drop a like. It's going to help out the channel. And I'm going to start working on that Pokemon video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and peace out. Woo!